The first midfield has been very quality for France so far in this tournament for head coach Dylan Snyder, who's played for France the last 2 European Championships and the last 2 Worlds, including 2023 in San Diego. Became the head coach late in 2023 to prepare for this tournament for France. It is still a very nice day. We had rain early in the day up until the early afternoon. It looked like it would be yet another downer of a weather day. But the last game on this field between Scotland and Portugal was gorgeous. Marty, that'll be considered, and it should be noted, the first game with good weather from start to finish of the tournament. But here, Greece and France hope to match that in the nightcap today.
Hoping we'll see some more of that.
And even some slight humidity, but fortunately no precipitation, as Sam Steffen will win the faceoff from Prefontaine, and we're underway. In goal for France, Joe Varela. And on the other side for the Greeks, Anthony Katagis will tell his story again. And Katagis, a late addition to the roster, has been very solid. George Caldroni with Anthony Sakos, the leading scorer. And Dima Athanasin are the 3 on the attack. Sakos gives it up, swooping across, and there's a finish, stinging the near pipe. Sam Steffen to start the scoring for Greece.
Yeah, it was a nice goal right there when he got into the defender's stick broke, and I wasn't even watching the play. I was watching that he was still holding his stick, because that can be an unsportsmanlike penalty on that. That's a dangerous weapon to be walking around with out there. So normally players will drop that and get off, but nice goal there to start it off.
Sakos on the dish. And for France, they battled Italy well, but it came down to battle at possessions of the face-off X. Otherwise, France came away feeling that they could compete with the top crust of the European Championship power ranking. Steffen against Prefontaine. And Prefontaine gets underneath, but Steffen is able to pick it up and flip outside. So a great development for the Greeks. First midfield of Ethan Hughes, Christos Brooks, and Sam Steffen for the Greeks. Defensively for France, with Joe Varela in goal, as I said, Danny Gratton, Kata Christoph, and Jack Snyder, the little brother of head coach Dylan Snyder, with the long pole midi, also featuring Matt Hill. Down the left alley, and there with a pretty feed across, the goal is finished off. That's Ethan Hughes on the find from Caldroni, 2-0.
And there's a flag on the play there too. Goal is good. I think it's going to be unnecessary roughness.
They actually wave off the foul,
wave. Okay.
so it's going to be a push into the net, but dream start for Greece under head coach Andrew Athens, who's been at the helm since the 2018 World Championships in Netanya, Israel. Steffen of the face-off X has taken the first 2, both in similar fashion. This time Prefontaine tries to bring it back, and it'll be decided on the wings. Well, France will come up with it with Gabriel Fury. As Fury will lob over, France still trying to execute the clear. No shot clock in the international game yet, coming in 2027. No failure to advance either, so teams can take their time. Lobbed over the top, and we see the first opportunity for France. Dynamic midfield. The attack, though, of Lucas Menendez, James Barlow, and Lucas Geller. Justin Rosenberg in the first midfield with Emile Sasson-Lawless and Gabriel Fury. And the athleticism in that first midfield has been noted even by other coaches, including by this man wearing 0, Justin Rosenberg, as being a real threat for France to initiate from. With Katagis and Cage and a shovel shot. Speed dodge from behind. Lucas Menendez, playing club lacrosse at the University of Cal Santa Barbara, makes it 2-1.
Yeah, that's a really nice take from X right there. Just sort of does that backhanded shot maneuver as he comes around X. Excellent job right there. Nice finish. It's one of those moves you've seen that's one that's really come about in recent years, and it's used quite a bit from guys attacking from X.
And Menendez, a young player that has been pointed out as someone that has grown a lot. He graduated UC Santa Barbara in 2024. Face-off win momentarily for France. That was Remy Giacoto. He was their face-off man in San Diego, Giacoto. But then he ends up turning it over after the face-off win. Nice knockdown by Nick Andoni of Greece.
That was a nice active stick there, knocking that ball down.
So Greece with possession. And they've hit their first 2 shots. Cleaning things up by head coach Andrew Athens was his theme, and to be perhaps a little bit more patient on offense in some ways. Well, that's what they learned against Italy, that once they get possessions, they've got to find ways to be efficient with it and keep the ball cycling. Here's Nick Ianu. Feed up top. Sakos will one-hand grab it. And looking to have everybody involved and movement, but they were encouraged by some of the things they saw against the Italians. Sakos rejecting the screen, searching for the rollback right. Aggressive defense by Keita Christoph. And Christoph, a returner from the World Championships in 2023. He's a no-nonsense defender. I recall watching him. Caldroni, a high schooler for Greece. They have 2 players playing key roles that are high schoolers. Save made low by Varela. And France hunting for the ground ball from Paul Lester Salmons. And they finally have it, but then throw it away over the head of Paul Lefebvre.
And as that pass was coming there, Ralph, it's important to notice that note that the sun could play a factor in this game right now. It's sort of, like we said, we're seeing it for the first time in a few days, but it's quite bright. Definitely heading down towards the Greek defensive end of the field. Might be a little difficult for goalies to see the ball.
Greece will ISO with Jack Minetti, and Minetti is stripped. Good active stick by Gabriel Fardin. Well, he, along with his brother Didier, will both play short stick D-Midi often at the same time. France with the clear. Defensively for Greece, Jonathan Swaropoulos, Nick Andoni, and Eric Kontergiris in front of Anthony Katagis in cage. Katagis, a late add to the roster. And he is the oldest player of this tournament, but he has held up very well for the Greeks and made the saves that he needs to. On the sweep left, and that jump shot wide of Lucas Geller. Plays Division I lacrosse at Detroit Mercy, and someone that France is going to rely on to complement that very good midfield. Sasson Lawless. Rosenberg exchanges with Fury. Man-to-man defensive look for Greece. In the international game, man-to-man is very, very common. The pass by Menendez sails over his teammate's head and out of bounds. Lucas Geller was in position. Sun will continue to be set, but it's possible the sun won't set until after 8:30 here. Local time. Caldroni is able to sneak away with the ground ball. Fires into Sakos, who approaches. That side netting. Flag is down, though, and this will be against France. Interference is listed. Well, could it be against Greece for springing Sakos there? There was a body.
He's waving it off now, the official.
Yeah, that cross was intended to show interference.
Which there was some activity after that ball. The ball was away, the shot was in the side of the net, and all of a sudden, the shooter found himself on the turf, and he didn't go there on his own volition, so they'll retain the ball, though. I'll tell you, that was a great ground ball, though, over here by Greece. Start that off.
Man up chance. And making the save low is Varela. It was at his feet. Ethan Hughes had the bouncer. And that was a step down. It is all even, 6-on-6. It looked like a man-up shot. As France will start to clear. As Danny Gratton will go across. And here Jack Snyder is in trouble. Snyder turns it over. Caldroni. Caldroni across the cage. And keeping it out is Varela. Joe Varela is a California native. Finished his career at Division II Alderson Brodus. That's in West Virginia. And he's back being the goalie for the French national team. And one of the many dedicated and devoted members of France that are hoping to ignite a youth program. France Lacrosse has finally added a women's lacrosse team under head coach Morgan Everett, who has already hit the ground running, being very passionate. And she is a French speaker. And for a big country, they did not have a women's team really established. One of the couple that have a men's team for a while. As Sassone Lawless will curl back. And this year they mandated that the players on this team had to at least participate in a French League tournament game. Gabriel Fury rips the shot. France even things up at 2.
That was a nice take by Fury right there. Right-handed shot over the goaltender's left shoulder, picking that corner. And he sort of dodges strong to his left hand, so it was kind of nice to see him pull that right, and he unleashed one there. It's a nice shot.
Fury along with Rosenberg are the two players that, just talking to some folks, if anybody has considered double polling yet. Fury the rip and finish 2-all after France did not have the ball and found themselves trailing 2-0. And procedure will be called against Sam Steffen. So it's France with possession. 4 minutes left, opening quarter.
Yeah, Greece had that jumping out to that 2-goal lead. It was this exact start that they wanted to have, and now France is sort of pulled even here. So
here's Justin Rosenberg, Division I player at the University of Vermont. Fascinating story. As Rosenberg, coming out of Washington, D.C., St. John's College Prep, was recruited by the great Ryan Curtis as a goalie. 3.5-year starter at Vermont before switching to midfield late in his senior year, not due to injury either. Here's Menendez. Feet in front, Menendez! And he had his cutter, Thomas Dyer boost, and Katagas keeps it out.
Really nice save there on a great opportunity, nice cut. Goaltender was equal to it.
Greece with the clear to finish the story. Got to meet Justin Rosenberg beforehand today and broadcast him several times at the 2023 World Championships and told that story. And he is a smooth-looking midfielder that was not one primarily in college. And ended up playing Major League Lacrosse briefly in training camps as a midfielder. So he is one of the engines for this France team on both ends, and now in there as a D-mini. Athanasin for Sam Steffen. Ayanu looked for the sweep, and then Ayanu just took a nudge down from the D-midi, and now the late flag comes, and Didier Fardin did not really need to do that. He already had Ayanu in a compromised position.
You can see Ayanu sort of stretching his leg out there. That was an awkward sort of fall that he took there. It didn't look, something didn't look right with it, but hopefully he's okay. He seems to be stretching that leg out. It's that right leg.
Yeah, it was on the landing.
Yeah.
For Ayanu. And Marty, I've seen my fair share of injuries in each of my 2 earlier games today. Of the, I wouldn't say serious, but concerning injuries today. And that becomes always a factor as these days continue forward for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, it's a lot of lacrosse in a short period of time. You have small rosters, you know, and you have to have that next man up mentality, because 22-man roster, and some folks don't even have 22 on their team, and you know, one or two goes down, that can be an issue.
Looks like Ianu's okay, but now Greece is going to spend the timeout. And with 2:20 left, so Andrew Athens would like to see, I think, a better concept coming out of the timeout. So it is 2 apiece between Greece and France in the midst of a pretty good one that has seesawed back to France after trailing 2-0 to begin the game, losing the opening face-offs. Good battle earlier. England holding off Latvia, and the Latvians playing without their tremendous attackman who's had a cup of coffee in the NLL out of St. Bonaventure, whose name is escaping me right now, but they were missing him. England was missing a key defenseman, but everything is laying out for the knockout round to begin on Tuesday, tomorrow being the last day of group play. And Bulgaria scoring their first goal of the tournament, which I still need to find out exactly if the Netherlands was paying attention, if they allowed the goal, you know, just for clarification, for historical purposes, because the story is going to change multiple times. So
sure.
At least we'll get it right, correct on the air at some point. So there will be a living, breathing video portion of evidence.
Yeah, by all accounts, from what I've heard from all the different teams around, they said they're just a great group of guys, very friendly guys, and you know, it's good to see them out here, a new program, scoring a goal. And that's the beauty of lacrosse. Lacrosse is such a, you know, the fact that, you know, international stage here, the love of the game, it's really nice to see.
And the Bulgarians so thankful for all the teams that have shown great sportsmanship to them, obviously understanding that they're at a very beginning stage of their cycle and development. This is their first international tournament. So Greece possession begins, and France is with a player in the box in Didier Fardin. 6-on-5 after the 30-second push. Ianu looks okay after that awkward fall. Caldroni, Sakos, and Greece is not going to force the issue. They don't get a shot off, and not a very aggressive approach. Now we'll go 6-on-6. Caldroni trying to turn the corner on his man. He had Jack Snyder beaten, but misses the cage to the short side on Varela.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Caldroni so far. He's got a great motor, quick, rides hard too.
Sakos got the skip pass and buries that. He's not going to miss those. He got it from Dima Athanasin to get the tally. It's 3-2, and now a late flag at midfield after the goal.
And we're under a minute to go in the quarter as well.
This could be some sort of a bench infraction on France. 30 seconds left. I'm not sure. I mean, the clock has stopped here at the field. It's a continuous clock until 30 seconds left. End of each of the first 3 quarters, then the last 2 of the fourth. So that's why it stops there. And it's going to be, I think, a 1-minute man up. So we'll see if Greece will hold this over and not have a face-off for the second quarter. Christos Brooks is the lefty on the right. Sakos with Greece back in front. Five seconds left, and I think Greece is going to hold it. They pull it out, and they will plan their final 30 seconds of the 1-minute man up here at the quarter break. Anthony Sakos, leading scorer of the tournament for Greece. Got a nice skip pass from Dima Athanasin And it is 3-2 as we head to the second quarter from Wroclaw, Poland. You're watching the 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championship on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. Start of the second quarter, a full 30-second man-up begins for Greece. And now Coach Andrew Athens of the Greeks having a chance to truly regroup his team and see what kind of adjustments they can make. But they get a wing shot here, and the save is made by Varela. Perhaps not the look they wanted from Caldroni. And Varela out of cage, still some time here, man down for France. And Kata Christophe here peeks over, still down a man. Christophe has got the green light. And Christophe was about to get it to an attackman, but with a pair of timeouts, Coach Dylan Snyder here will spend the timeout here. Great to meet and visit with Dylan Snyder. I recall was a player in 2023. He has since hung him up and now coaching this France team. As I said before, one of the key changes that France Lacrosse has made that is similar to other very devoted nations in Europe and in other places, that they required, even if you're an American or a North American, all athletes play in at least one French league event over the last 12 months, meaning a tournament, and that's more than one game. So you show up for a weekend or several months. And this team met that without exception. They weren't together a whole lot. In July of 2024, they had about 60% of this roster at a camp. And then otherwise, many of these players faced each other in the Bordeaux tournament taking place in the south of France through their club tournament. So they have been playing a little bit of catch-up compared to some of the other teams, but they have instilled a much higher requirement to qualify this French team, and they hope that that will develop into what some of the other nations have going that have proven to be very successful and together, like the Netherlands and England.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's just the growth of the game. Love seeing all these nations with a lot of homegrown talent. I mean, I was actually, you spoke about that Latvia-England game. I actually caught 3/4 of it in person over on the field. Great crowd over there. It was 4-3 in the third quarter. I know England pulled away in the end, and they but just the level they were playing at, the speed they were playing at, the intensity. You could feel it in the stands. It's I think it's a prelude to what we might see moving forward to the knockout stage.
France out of their timeout, they get the clear. And finally all even, and they strike. Turning the corner, Lucas Menendez. And his quickness proving to be a potential issue the rest of this one for Greece. We're tied at 3.
Yeah, that was a really strong take from X there by Menendez. He sort of gave like a little shoulder shimmy, little fake, and finished on the goalie. That was a really strong take, and like you say, the speed is what sort of separated him from his defender.
Even up as Adrian Prefontaine will face off, and now Stefan will move off the wing. So Greece is going to put up high schooler Emmanuel Nikitiatis. Of Brooklyn, New York to face off. This ends up as an initial stalemate, and a hold will be called against Nikitiatis.
Impressive that they have a couple of high schoolers playing. I mean, you know, you're a high school player, you know, playing against some grown men out here.
Yeah, I would love to ask them after the fact, July 20th at the airport, and maybe that might be too soon, but maybe sometime in August, how much do you think you improved to George Caldroni and Emmanuel Nikitiatis? It's one thing you can play club lacrosse all you want, but there is a certain level of tactics that they're learning and playing against grown men. Sakos takes the cage. Way too easy for Greece's leading scorer. Sakos delivers his second. It's 4-3.
Yeah, Sakos, that's a really nice take right there. And like you said, it was way too easy. There was sort of no slide. Beat his defender cleanly. Had the ball on the left, you know, sticking his left hand, switched to the right, finished. You know, you can't leave the team's leading scorer, you know, have the opportunity to do that.
Anthony Sakos from Wonton, New York, on the south shore of Long Island, one of the hotbeds in the United States, and was on the roster playing briefly at Long Island University, a Division I program. Face off for Nikitiatis. He had it in his stick before Justin Rosenberg flies ahead. With those long strides, Rosenberg look for the throwback. We have a flag out, and the shot is blocked off the stick of James Barlow.
God, we got to see Rosenberg's speed right there on display. You had mentioned that he had it earlier, and man, did we see it there. He just accelerated past everybody. Real nice look, nice save, and flag on the play, though.
This is Greece in the box.
Illegal body check.
Yeah, call is on Jonathan Sparopoulos, so he'll sit in the box. So far, France has not been able to utilize the speed of Fury and Rosenberg yet. He'll take the rip, and Katagas will stick that to the turf. Nothing seems to bother him. And we've watched Anthony Katagas behind the scenes get himself ready on the sideline by himself, away from everybody. And years of experience playing in Lake Placid. He was thrilled to jump in with this team. Did grow up in Long Island, but his high school, Wheatley High School, did not yet have a lacrosse program. This carries all the way through the other end, but it's through the stick of Marcus Myers of Greece. Battle for the ground ball. Myers was going to have a layup in front, and France has it. A missed opportunity for the Greeks.
Yeah, you have to mark that one down. That was a tough one right there. You'd like to have that back.
Varela on the clear for Christoph. And he has an open path.
That would have been a man-down goal, too. I mean, that would have been a huge, you know, just a inspiring goal. It's unfortunate they weren't able to connect on that.
And Katagas had that clear in the quick look ahead as it rolled through. So now we're all even. And France can reset with Gabriel Fury. Fury rolls back to his right and gets a good late check from Jonathan Sparopoulos to deny a clean rip on a shot. James Barlow. Rather, that's Justin Rosenberg. And Rosenberg out of the double team. Layoff for Menendez. This time to the jump shot. Well, Rosenberg draws all the attention.
Flag on the play, too.
But Menendez, for a smaller attackman, goes to the air. We're tied again.
It's a nice take right there. We're going to have a cross check. It's sort of potentially could be a dead ball foul right there.
Extra half step or so taken by the Greek defender.
That started, though, with Rosenberg when he drew that double team. There was a nice little pass, and then, strong take by Menendez. We will have a face.
But the flag occurring after the goal, so it's 3-on-2 on the draw. And Stefan for Greece disadvantaged. Swooping over Nick Soteropoulos of Greece. And France will come up with it and a chance to run up a man. James Barlow looks for the trailer, but France will get their man-up unit on instead. 4 apiece, Lucas Menendez, 3 of the 4 for Team France. Gabriel Fury the other. Rosenberg gives it up, and that is Gabriel Fury in the look. Emile Sasson-Lawless very quickly on the restart. Still time of the 1 minute man up, turning and firing. Nice slip pass from Rosenberg to find his former University of Vermont teammate, James Barlow.
Well, that's a catamount to a catamount right there, and that's a really nice finish on the crease in there. Great look. Rosenberg just keeps impressing with his play out there, but that's a heady play. Nice look, nice finish.
A little type slip pass from about waist high. Set that up, and you could see that there is tremendous chemistry built in on a connection like that. Stefan is able to come up with it, but then his shovel out of the reach of Manoli Parajoudakis. Long pole midi on the face-off wing for Greece.
Good push.
Greece finding themselves trailing for the first time. And a ward-off will be called against Caldroni. Oh, it was very subtle.
I thought it might have been a moving screen. I thought they got him on. He made like that L move. It could have been a ward. I'm not sure which. His
very quick call. There was a player back behind.
Because it kind of did look like there might have been a little bit of a moving screen, but either way, both technical fouls. They lose possession, goes the other way.
Snyder for Kata Kristoff. Fury with a path to goal. Got the hands free.
He's not too shy. He gets that ball, he's going to let it fly. And the nice thing in looking at it, he can let it rip with both hands. He scored right-handed earlier, and you can tell he's primarily a lefty, but good right hand as well.
Fury, high crease area, then a good idea for Thomas Diaboost to slip in a pass to his crease attackman, but it was broken up. So Ethan Hughes pushes the break for Greece. Sakos, one more. Caldroni nicked the pipe.
Nice low to high rip right there. It hits the pipe, goes out of bounds. Greece closest to the point of exit when it went out of bounds. They will retain possession.
5 minutes to go, second quarter. Well-played game between France and Greece.
Yeah, they call this the game of the day, and it's lived up to the billing so far.
Sakos looked for the back down on the pole and gave it up with some traffic. And working out in front, Varela makes the save inside. So going for the inside jump shot, that was Nick Soteropoulos playing with a short stick. Nick Soteropoulos has also played pole during this tournament for Greece.
It's good to have a multi-varied sort of skill set in a tournament like this.
Kristoff, as he commands the clear, and he finds Gabriel Fardin. 4 minutes to go. And France will methodically work it into the attack. Hughes has logged a lot of mileage as a two-way midfielder. Sasson Lawless. Dealt it inside. Barlow swings for Rosenberg. France with the lead and the ball. Rosenberg just hoping to get a little bit of a brush screen. Took the shot. Katagas came out at the top of his crease to cut down the angle. And Donny quickly will swing it back. And Greece in the midst of a clear. Sparopoulos. Caldroni against a towering defender, Jack Snyder. Jack Snyder played his collegiate lacrosse at Rhodes College in Virginia. Got his PhD from Duke University. His older brother, very proud of him, head coach Dylan Snyder. Hughes put on the brakes. They'll redodge outside with Athanasin. Caldroni, and he got the flip pass out to Sakos. Well done there by George Caldroni. He had Jack Snyder essentially locked up, but he still got the pass off. And now, as Dima Athanasin is taken down.
As his helmet comes off there too during play. NCAA rule would be he'd have to leave the field until the next whistle, but don't have that internationally. One of those things, and you see it a lot in the States, I officiate a lot. The guys that like to wear that helmet sort of loose, they can pull it off over their head. They don't strap it down real tight. They have to have their tilt game on. That's how they have to roll.
Man up for Greece, looking for the tie. Ayanu again begins at the top. Caldroni looked outside. Athanasin was the cutter. Hughes inside. Sakos in and out of his stick. Snyder had it momentarily in the pickup by Lester Salmons of France. And into the crease for the handle for Varela, who heaves ahead to Rosenberg. 50 seconds left. Rosenberg motors ahead, asking for it. They get a step down from Lucas Geller wide. Ended up more of a shot on the run for Geller as he ran on underneath it. And we'll have a timeout taken here by France. So Coach Dylan Snyder knows he can't take the timeout with him into the locker room. Former captain of this team. And now being head coach.
So they'll look to draw something up in this last 33 seconds in the half. Come out of this, if they could ever get a goal here before halftime, push that lead to 6-4. That would be a big boost going into halftime. On the other hand, Greece wants to have a good stop right here, and I think that they'll be happy if they can turn them back and keep the score as it is right now.
France got here a little earlier. They got here on Monday the 7th, 2 practices a day. Then they had a scrimmage on July 9th on Wednesday of opening day. Opening night when Czechia met Poland. And they've been trying to accelerate their cohesiveness like every other nation that might be starting from a little bit behind is. But they lead 5-4 over Greece. 33 seconds showing here, first half. James Barlow, the goal midway through the quarter, has still held up for France after Greece led the game 4-3, 3-2, and 2-0. So we'll see what the concept is out of the timeout for France.
They probably want to get something, at least number 9, a few touches on this. He's got that good rip. Rosenberg as well.
They'll start with the quickness of Lucas Menendez behind. Jonathan Spiropoulos to try to defend. Menendez, and it is Rosenberg who gets it, and now will quarterback things from here. And he realizes he's got a D-mini on him in Ethan Hughes. Rosenberg will take him, goal line extended. Feeding it down low, Menendez. Menendez comes out in front, and he is able to beat Katagas 5-hole. What a first half, one of the best of the tournament so far. 4 in the opening half for Lucas Menendez.
Yeah, that was a really nice play. I think what happens there is Rosenberg garners so much attention right there. He had split his defender, and then great sneak from behind by Menendez, and an even better finish. And like we said, 9 seconds showing in halftime, until halftime, and they went up 6-4 with that.
Nikitiadis of Greece now summoned on the face-off. False start will be called, though, on Adrian Prefontaine. Still time for Greece. Stefan is able to pick up with 5 seconds. Looks for Sakos. He was tripped up, and the ball will harmlessly go out of bounds to take care of the first half. But France gets the last 3 after a promising start for Greece in the opening quarter. Lucas Menendez, 4 goals in the first half is the story. Anthony Sakos with 2 to lead the Greeks at 6-4 France over Greece at halftime. We're coming back in 10 minutes to bring you more from the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship on Lax TV and the World Lacrosse TV.
Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really, really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick. Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive. Growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport. Governed globally by World Lacrosse.
Marty Horkin. This one's shaping up to have a pretty good finish, and we're certainly hoping for one. Haven't had many one-goal games yet in this tournament, or games that have come down to the wire, but one of them Greece has participated in, a game that they had, and not quite in their back pocket, but they were on the verge of closing out. They lost to Slovakia, though, 8-7. They had a shot to tie on an Anthony Sakos shot at the buzzer, which remains in this tournament as the lone game that's come down to the wire. Adrian Prefontaine came up with the face-off, but then his feed for Lucas Geller gets away from him. So Greece will have the opening possession. And if you're Andrew Athens, head coach of Greece, Marty, you started off well, 2-0, facing off well. The second quarter got away from you. What do you think he told his guys at the break?
Well, I would say that, they got to keep sort of to the system they've been going with. I think, offensively, we can already see a couple of their guys, who are sort of carrying the play. But I think defensively is where they have to pick up some intensity maybe and just clean up some of the miscues and the sort of errant passes.
On the drive, Ethan Hughes, and Hughes from a difficult angle got a shot off, but he was in the crease. Joe Varela still made the save. And then if you're Dylan Snyder of France, second quarter, you look very good. And you're seeing the ascension of Lucas Menendez, who's got 4 of your 6 goals.
Yeah, he's had a great first half and some highlight film goals out there, highlight reel goals. So really nice job. And also Rosenberg, who has the ball right now, he's another one.
Swung to Sasson Lawless. And then I think he tried to jam it from a difficult angle. That did not work. Katagas knocking it down. And a clear for Greece and Nick Soteropoulos. Changing direction, George Caldroni. And then he had it lost to Jack Snyder. So France on the move with Lester Salmons. And Lester with the shovel. Lester Salmons has played box, sixes, and field teams for France the last 4 months. And with the new addition of sixes, that really stretches these players in terms of their calendars and maybe what their bodies can handle. Not yet for Lester Salmons. Sure would like to ask him how his body's feeling around July 20th on Sunday after this 4-month stretch, playing for all these different teams.
That's a lot of lacrosse.
Rosenberg tried to go to the jump shot after posting up on his man. And they'll call a slash for a minute against Greece. I think that's going to be Manoli Parajoudakis. So France to go man up again to initiate through Justin Rosenberg. And what a hard cover he is. Not a chance to meet Justin. He is an assistant coach at Brophy College Prep in Phoenix, Arizona after his playing career. Still plays a ton of lacrosse. Still in great shape, big smile, and obviously loves what he is doing and contributing with Team France. And his longtime buddy James Barlow from Vermont. Rosenberg rips it low from up top at the top of the box and to finish it in the low pocket. 7-4.
Yeah, and he had a little celebratory dance there at the end too. Rosenberg gets that up top and just lets it fly.
To the off-stick side, Katagas did not get a clean look at it. That's still good location.
And you mentioned Brophy Prep. That's always a powerhouse in Arizona.
And they have a player named Ethan Swenson who just had a big game in the game before this one for Scotland. And early procedure called against Emmanuel Nikitiadis. So France in a position where they could really put some air between themselves and Greece. As we approach dusk here at 7:55 local time in Wroclaw. Lights should be coming on very shortly. This is the last game of the day. As then we'll hit Monday, tomorrow, the last day of pool play. And then a knockout round beginning Tuesday. Gabriel Fury. And with the championship being played and the final day being Saturday. Not every team will play on Saturday. Lucas Geller. Geller to the jump shot, and this time Katagis saw it cleanly. However, this ball thrown away perhaps by Greece. Chasing onto it, though, Nick Andoni. And Andoni is able to spin it back and rescue a turnover for Greece.
Yeah, it was a nice ground ball under pressure by Andoni there.
Looking for a flag here, Marty, and I don't see one.
Me either. Yep.
No, it is. Well, there was no flag, but there is a penalty. A foul against France. So they got a 30-second push somewhere.
They stopped the clock here.
Yeah, another indication from our referee. It is a 30-second hold. I just can't tell exactly who that is sitting. But an opportunity for Greece to end this 4-goal run of France.
Yeah,
they led 4-3 midway through the second.
I'm sure Greece would love to put one on the board right here. Bring it to within 2.
Caldroni swings for Brooks. Ayano, Sakos, never shy. Even with the closeout coming in his face by Kena Kristoff, Sakos hits the bouncer.
That's a real nice bounce shot by Sakos right there. Good ball movement by Greece. You know, a lot of touches there, and then he just sort of catches in a ready position, crow hops, and lets it fly. Bounce shot, really nice goal. He's a goal scorer. I mean, he's done a really. It's my first time seeing him today, and I've been impressed.
Assist to Nick Ayano. That was my same comment to Andrew Athens as we talked about his team's offense still looking to share the ball even greater, taking the next step. But Sakos is such a determined player, the mentality of always looking to score.
Get a flag. You didn't give him 5 yards in the restart there, I think is what we're going to have.
So procedural call. Now another whistle.
Yeah, anytime we have a restart, you have to give the guy 5 yards. You can't play him. You can be within 5 yards, and if you don't defend him, you know, you can reestablish that 5-yard difference. He didn't. He played him right there, not within 5. I think that's what we went with the call there. It's 30-second technical.
That's on the face-off man, Adrian Prefontaine. Golden chance for Greece. They just converted on the man up from Sakos. Sakos with the Paul Snyder in front of him, trying to take away some airspace. Across, they have the shooter. Backside run came from Dima Athanasin. Decent feed came from Ethan Hughes.
An excellent run out by the goalie there for France in order to get the ball. Excellent hustle and just a very heads-up play.
Pressure on Matt Hill as he goes with the cheap clear. It will not be a shot. That's got to go back to Greece. Definitely was not a shot, so here's Greece with another opportunity. We are all even as Hughes will locate Sonoropoulos, who's already scored a goal in this tournament, as an offensive threat. Six minutes to go in the third. Each team has scored once. 7-5 France. Sakos went to the turnaround jump shot, but he does get back up. And jumping into the pool is Dima Athanasin. And he bails out Greece, keeping the possession. Caldroni, nice little flip pass. Now as they try to work it around, they'll get the wing shot instead. Varela the save, and a rebound is just shuffled wide.
Great effort on that ground ball right there in traffic, knowing you're going to get hit, and you got that little shovel shot off.
Sakos rolls away from Sasson Lawless, who is an attack, really an offensive player that's in there now defensively. Hughes against Paul LaFay, the other D-midi. Caldroni scoops, under 5 minutes left. Third quarter, France continuing to lead 7-5. Caldroni had a pair of cutters, and now a flag is down. Soteropoulos ended up down in the crease for Greece.
That'll be a push.
It's a 30-second push against Kata Christoph. So Greece just had a man up that they finished, then had another that they did not. So
now they're waving it off.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think what it was is there was no possession, so, I mean, he could have called illegal body check, which would have been a minute penalty, just because he did end up in the crease. Didn't mean to go there. You know, was he pushed in the crease? Well, if he was, you know, if you have something, you can't have a push. You know, so I guess they're going to go a loose ball push, and so they'll retain the ball. No time served.
Now Christoph then realizing that he wants to sub back in, and they will allow that, so it's back to where we started. Sakos lowers his shoulder, hits the shot. He is just knocking down trees and cutting them down. Two straight for Anthony Sakos, 7-6.
He absorbs a heavy check there too, heavy stick check with the screen, and then gets those hands free and rotates the hips. Great shot, a lot of power on that. Again, like we said, he's a gamer, you know. He's been doing those high step moves and things sometimes, but that one's just a straight hard dodge. He had a nice pick set, and it was a good strong rip.
Didier Fardin had position, but was flat-footed, and Sakos just went through his chest. So Greece has climbed to within 7-6. Face-off win, chance to tie. Sam Steffen. Across, they get the pole shot from Paragiudakis, and Varela is up to the task. And then the ball will be rolled back into the crease. So Greece having one look to tie. And remember that one, perhaps, will there be others, or will that be the last one? Joe Varela holds and tries to set up a clear. Grattan leaves for Fury. Fury in for Rosenberg, and not in any shooting position, so France having the ball for the first time in maybe 5 minutes.
That was a nice clear by Fury there. It just seems like France could give the ball to Rosenberg, you know, and or Fury at any point and clear the ball with ease. They both are super athletic and fast.
We have a call against Greece. Wait, is it offsetting calls?
They're throwing the ball to midfield, so I'm thinking it might be against...
Yeah, it's going to be against France while they had the ball. So Sakos will start things. And we're on the verge of dusk here in Wroclaw, Poland. Athanasin takes it in. Some contact with the pipe on the shot. And they'll say in the crease on Dima Athanasin.
That was a real strong face dodge he had on that far side. I really liked it. Hit the goalie's best friend in the pipe, went out of bounds, and he landed in the crease. There was a nice skip pass to a face dodge. Unfortunate it didn't go for them to tie it up.
Teams are all even. Final 50 seconds of the third. Started promising for France, leading up to a 7-4 advantage before a pair of Sakos goals has given Greece a lot of the momentum back. Now ahead for Jack Snyder, and Snyder with a path to cage. Snyder then gave it up, and the shot from Menendez is wide. Or rather, that was on the far side. Actually, that was James Barlow. Greece transitions as Caldroni on the pickup, Floridian, who attends the IMG Academy in northern Florida, going into his junior year of high school. Sakos with 10. Sakos from distance, it doesn't matter. 3 straight and 5 for the game to tie it at 7.
That's a great take right there. 7 seconds left in the quarter. And just goes hard to his strong right hand, almost kind of a fadeaway at that point, but hits the right bounce and goes top shelf. Nice goal. What a run, I mean, they've had right here. We were talking about, in the beginning of the quarter, there was a chance that they could have gone up 8-4, doubled up. France had a chance to double up on Greece, and now they've brought it back to tie. This has been living up to the billing that it was going to be the game of the day, and both teams are bringing it here, and it's exciting to watch.
Steph into the final seconds, battles with Prefontaine, and there'll be no winner. There's no winner yet. 7-7 into the fourth quarter between France and Greece. Back with more from the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. Start of the fourth quarter, Ralph Bednarczyk with Marty Horkin, and we have been seeing it since the early stages that this one appears to be destined to have a great finish to it. Adrien Prefontaine had the face-off in the vicinity of his stick, but it'll find the stick of Greece and find the stick of Greece Anthony Sakos. He gets in the box, and Greece, what do you know, Marty has a chance to take the lead. They were on the verge of trailing 8-4 early in the third.
Yeah, I feel like the field is sort of tilted towards their offensive side of the ball, and you know, when in doubt, find number 22 because he's been the go-to guy.
Soteropoulos swings outside for Sakos. Trying to turn on Christoph. Can they force him back to his left hand? Instead, he gets the right hand going, and this time Varela was sitting and waiting for it in a comfortable chair.
Yeah, Varela knew that was going low, sort of, you know, intelligent goalie, he's done his homework, he's going high to low a lot, sort of stabbed at that ball, made a nice save.
Rosenberg, and she'll trot across for the clear. Well, this France offense just did not have the possessions most of the third quarter.
Rosenberg could have a short stick matchup here.
And he identifies that against Nick Soteropoulos. As we said, is a very experienced player with a pole, but right now with a shorty. Throw back into traffic, read well by Greece, and recovered by Lucas Geller, and a flag is coming out. So France will go man up. It's a 1-minute cross check against Greece.
Unsportsmanlike.
I thought I saw the cross check signal, but okay. An additional, Eric Contergiris is the one that will sit.
And you can see the French player jumping up and down, wanting to start because, you know, he wants the quick restart. The offense is ready. And they have.
Lucas Menendez does. Greece still subbing, and they're finally in position. 6-on-5. Fury hits the pipe. Long rebound and a good play made by the long pole, Jack Snyder. He beats Caldroni to the spot, and then it leads to the goal. James
Nice
Barlow
job.
with a roofie. 8-7.
That's a beautiful shot right there. Starts with that little goose over at midfield. Frankly, he could have possessed the ball because it was a shot. It's not going to be over and back, but real nice play right there. Crease feed and just a low to high stinger.
Gabriel Fury on the dish. France back in front. And it's a man-up goal, so a costly foul against Greece.
France looking to make their own run here. It's been a game of runs. They were down, then they were up. Now they're, you know, tied. Now they're up again, so.
Prefontaine runs into his own man, and Prefontaine is shaken up. Prefontaine took a shot in the head from Gabriel Fury. Adrian Prefontaine has taken a big step forward in the last several months as a face-off guy. He's leading face-off sessions in France, and he's also talking to everybody he can, watching YouTube videos, and becoming a true student of the art form of facing off. And that's something that's been a pleasant surprise to the French coaching staff for what he's been able to do already early in this tournament.
Such a, you know, it's a crucial skill set to have a strong face-off man. That ability to, you know, make it, take it, score a goal, win a face-off, get it again. It takes years of training, though. I mean, I often say I'm an official and I coach back home in Massachusetts, and I often say my next face-off that I take will be the first one I've ever taken. You know, it's a lot of hard work goes into that, so kudos to him on his efforts.
Adrian Prefontaine is able to get up and walk off under his own power. And in many countries, one of the greatest challenges is for the specialists to get coaching. At times, the person that you can face off against might be miles away. Same thing for a goalie, especially if you're a youngster coming up. I've heard that story very often where it's one thing to try to be attackman, midfielder, defenseman. You can kind of do a lot of other things and get coaching from older players, but to get the specific coaching needed to excel in those spots, that can be difficult. Thankfully, there's YouTube, etc., as that jump shot, or rather sweeping shot by Ethan Hughes, is saved by Varela. But there's nothing like one-on-one individual coaching instruction in person, and especially for a face-off guy against another person.
Yep.
You can only face off against yourself so many times, right?
Yes, and sometimes they do have headsets with whistles, and they try to get the cadence down and sort of, because it's all about getting the jump on that. But yeah, you need to have a partner to go against.
And a timeout is taken by France. 11:02 left. They lead Greece again, 8-7. Lights are finally starting to come on here in Wroclaw. Hopefully they'll be very effective and allow the players to completely see the ball well. And this is the last game of the night. Tomorrow, the last day, the final day of pool play.
Going back to that face-off conversation we're having, though, too, I often think, face-off guys are kind of like hockey goalies in a weird way. I know when I coached, I just left them alone. I said, you know what you're doing. You know how to do it, how to counter, how to win clamps. To do your best out there. I would just let them be and hope for good results.
And that's what makes coming to a tournament like the European Championships, the World Championships, such an advantage, because you have a chance to go physically watch other teams' face-off guys, and Lacrosse World has been very forthcoming about other face-off guys or other players, especially the Americans, sharing information with players from other countries, other players from developing countries. Really admire them and eat up any chance they have to have a chance to talk to them, work with them, and hear that. France out of the timeout, 4 minutes into the fourth quarter.
Just great to see high-level lacrosse, and everyone is getting better every day. Great camaraderie in these tournaments, too. You see other teams watching from the stands, cheering teams on. It's a lot of fun.
One common goal of making this become more and more known and mainstream to all parts of the world. Thomas Dayeboost. Rosenberg. Now Paragiudakis playing with a short stick. Rosenberg could not take advantage. Sets the screen for Gabriel Fury. He hits the pipe.
And that's one of those, it can go over and back. It was a shot off the pipe. There's no issue with that.
Caldroni spins out of a French body. And Greece with another opportunity to tie.
Fury's last two shots have rang pipes, and big pipes too at that. He's got that strong left hand on the run. He's got a great shot.
Anthony Sakos took the last shot. I imagine France knows who number 22 in blue is now. Okay, to Christophe. Slip pass for Caldroni. Christophe, big physical lefty defender who works at McGill University with a degree in psychology. He is certainly assessing Anthony Sakos all day.
Withholding there. They get a withholding.
France the benefit of the call. And Rosenberg to separate. Numbers for France. Menendez. Had 4 in the first half, and I don't think a shot in the second.
He thought about it there, and then he pulled it out and said, you know, let's hold for a better look. And this is the guy who's been getting some good looks recently with the ball now, in Fury.
A stall warning in effect as Fury steps into the box. He's got to be careful not to cross the restraining box line that is much closer to the goal than it is any other field. Lucas Geller with a drop off, and a shot from virtually no angle for Fury is wide. Stall warning remains in effect in a 1-goal game. Fury. This time he doesn't ding pipe. All net for Gabriel Fury. 2-goal lead for France.
Third time's a charm right there on that take. Similar drive to his previous 2 where he rang pipes. He sort of went high to low right here. Bounce shot beats the goalie. That's a big goal right there. Nice take.
Now some separation and perhaps real breathing room for France. And procedure will be called. So without Prefontaine, Remy Giacoto faced off against Sam Steffen. Greece getting the benefit of the whistle. Sakos trying to get his right hand free. This time the help defender comes and he narrowly misses the shot.
They're really sliding early to him.
Caldroni takes a jab from Snyder. Now locates the cutter. Steffen! Caldroni threw him open. 9-8.
Caldroni with a nice feed right here. You know, loses the ball momentarily, times up the cut right here, but just a nice pass to an even better finish. I continue to be impressed with Caldroni out there. I mean, a rising junior in high school. I mean, he just plays with such maturity against, you know, grown men out there, like we said earlier. Really, he's doing a great job.
I think he's tied for the youngest players. I think there are a couple of other high school 27s that are here. We'd have to check the date of births, but it could be possible that George Caldroni is the youngest player in this tournament. As a face-off win off the wing, controlled by Soteropoulos. Now playing with a pole again. Sakos into traffic and chased down by Greece. 5 minutes to go with the lights nearly fully on in Wroclaw. Sakos from outside, and Varela is on it.
He tried that nice bounce shot. He got the high bounce that he wanted, but the keeper was equal to it on that.
Again, no shot clock. So France, how do you approach it? France has 1 timeout remaining. Justin Rosenberg across. With the situation with Adrien Prefontaine, if he is shaken up and cannot face off, that is a thought from the French coaching staff. And instead, it's going to be an over and back that will give the Greeks the ball right back. Quickly off the whistle, Paragiudakis wants to go. France late subbing on, Caldroni wide.
It's a big possession here for Greece.
They bring back Marcus Myers in attack. 9-8. France leading. 3:45 left. Athanasin, as he was hounded by Gabriel Fardin. How many more possessions will the Greeks get? Sakos, behind the back flip pass. Athanasin may not have expected it. And did Greece get a timeout? And they did.
They did.
Well, there was maybe a split second there where the officials are going to grant it. Andrew Athens was in the right window of that split second, Marty Horkin,
Yes.
to get that timeout with 3:21 remaining.
He did, because Sakos went to that behind the back pass. The ball was down. They really, like we said before, this possession's a huge possession right here. 9-8 game. They have the ball. It would be a shame if they had turned it over on something like that. And coach made a great call, getting that timeout. Very effective.
So now what's the concept here for Greece? You figure 22 is going to handle it, and France is going to be expecting it. And how much time will Greece allow to run off the clock as they make this approach with no shot clock? And of course, teams can kill off easily 3 minutes if they really need to. And you have the goalie in Anthony Katagas, who is not necessarily going to be the most athletic out of cage to try to double the ball, should France be in the attack.
Right. I think that coming out of this timeout, Greece clearly, I think number 22 will have play some part in this. He wants to get to that right hand often. We've noticed the last few times down, though, France has been sliding very early to him. So sometimes if you sort of maybe can fake that look, draw the slide, and then throw back against it, maybe get 2 passes in a drive. Caldroni could maybe get a take, something like that. But I'm pretty sure that 22 will definitely play a part in this. He's gotten them to this point. He's a goal scorer. I'm sure he's going to want to touch the ball.
Sakos had the last shot in a 1-goal game on Thursday against Slovakia with 2 seconds on the clock, and he ripped it just wide. And Greece dropped that game. They trailed most of, then Slovakia, then Greece took the lead late, and then Slovakia came back from behind themselves to win it 8-7. Throwback, room and time to tie the game. Caldroni with the throwback. And Greece is even. It's Ethan Hughes with the equalizer at 9.
Yeah, it's funny. I think that we were so fixated on number 22, maybe France was as well, and Caldroni ran real hard at a nice throwback and a great finish there. So all tied up.
2:45 left. Remy Giacoto will face off here for France.
It's a big face-off.
Against Sam Stefan of Greece. The officials looking at each other, and it will be Greece possession. So now what's the approach? How much time do you let go on the clock if you're Greece?
I'm thinking that, they'll just probably move it around, but they'll get the best opportunity they can. This could be something like they just drew up out of the last time out. What a game of runs, though. We keep saying this. I mean, France was up 2. Now it's tied. Exciting game.
France was actually up 3 at 7-4 after the first goal of the third quarter. Sakos rams into a double. 90 seconds left in regulation time. Nick Soteropoulos. Caldroni will brush that ball down. Caldroni, good change of direction, carries. He still looks very fresh. Now Sakos will fire.
A little off target right there, but right idea. Caldroni to Sakos. That's the kind of look you do want to get. If Sakos gets his hands free, he's shooting.
A minute to go. Nick Soteropoulos. Hughes forced off his angle. Good defensive work by Matt Hill, who is a high school coach now in Seattle, Washington. Sakos. Kata Kristoff still with enough energy to stay with him. Now Sakos held up enough by Jack Snyder. Draws the double. Will that be considered a shot? It is not. He was tied up enough. Good work by Jack Snyder, and then a second France defender to make things difficult for Sakos. Sakos attempted to get a shot off, but he ended up with too many bodies on him.
Yeah, he was put in a tough spot there by the French defense. They were all over him on that. He may have been looking for that skip pass. I think that's what the referees might have read, but they might discuss it right here. But he was, Greece clearly was saying that was a shot, and it's seen otherwise as a pass. Timeout was called on the field.
And timeout France with 28 seconds left. They will still need to clear the ball. And I imagine zero Justin Rosenberg was going to have a chance to stretch his legs out and then try to devise what would be a game-winning look. 9 apiece in the last game of the day.
And you had mentioned earlier that we've only had one goal game in this one, so this is shaping up to be a one-goal game, but will we have to go to bonus lacrosse? That's the question.
This is the finale for France. They'll have a day off tomorrow. Greece will still play one more tomorrow against Denmark. France out of the timeout. And we'll see how heavy Greece might approach the ride here. How much do they extend the defense or allow France to come to them?
And we can see Rosenberg's coming back to maybe start with the ball, so he's going down to help in the clearing game. Mentioned earlier that he has incredible speed and agility. He will start with it.
And it looks like Greece is going to put 2 on Justin Rosenberg. So they're not going to let him run. And Kata Kristoff ahead. 20 seconds left. Kristoff forced back. And back for Varela. And now Varela throws it away. Can it be backed up? And a timeout is granted to France. With 7 seconds left, they'll have the ball on the far sideline in front of the Greek bench.
Yeah, that's a heady call. Well, there was a coach who called that timeout. That was and again, we've said earlier, you can't take the timeout with you. Might as well take it. Cleared the ball. Looked like a broken play. They used a lot of time sort of in the defensive side of the field. Didn't have a really clean clear, but they'll have the ball. 7 seconds left right in front of the Greek bench.
Now this will give France a chance to put the ball in the stick of Rosenberg and then fire it to somebody. He'll likely be doubled on the ball.
I like maybe Fury over there with that left hand. He likes to, if he can get to the middle of the field a little bit. He's been very strong with that shot. Not a lot of time, though.
9 apiece. Greece had a chance to win it, and they ended up turning it over. A good defensive stand by Greece. And then Greece putting on the pressure on Justin Rosenberg, and France nearly throwing it away before they rescue the possession by getting a timeout called on the sideline. They'll actually start with Gabriel Fury, and Rosenberg is on the near sideline. And Greece not doubling the ball. They're going to trust Nick Soteropoulos to try to keep Gabriel Fury in front with 7 seconds to go. Fury looking for the rollback. A skip pass. Here's the jump shot. Katagas, and it trickles in. It'll trickle in. Lucas Geller. Geller will have the game winner for France. Time is shown to have expired here in Wroclaw. Official time is kept on the field Katagas had a lot of it, but not all.
Unbelievable, that trickled in right there. Officials are talking about maybe the time. They're huddled up over there. Great take, geez, he got a piece of that nice piece, but it just rolled over that line. The whole ball in lacrosse has to pass the line in order to be a goal. It did cross the line, but you have a lot of moving parts right there. You have the time, you have the goal.
Our officials, let's have a focus on them right at midfield. Two of them huddling. All four are going to deem, was there enough time? Certainly I thought the visual clock here may have also started late.
Yep.
So that's a primary focus. Let's see here. Now we have a visible clock matched up, and the Geller shot, if this clock that we saw is accurately matched up, it's a good goal, and there's no time left. If you want to split hairs and give Greece 1 second, that could be fair, but that's a good goal.
That is something else.
Lucas Geller shooting across the grain to the near pipe bouncer. Katagas still had a sense of where it was going, but does not get all of it, and now it's final. France defeats Greece in the final seconds. At the buzzer, they take it 10-9 on a Lucas Geller goal. Plays at Detroit Mercy in Michigan. France victorious here, and Greece frustrated. They had an opportunity to shoot for the win or the lead themselves. They didn't get it. France gets the stop, and then France ends up with the victory. France finishes Group D play 3-1. Greece 0-3 with 1 game left tomorrow against Denmark.
Right there, that is, I mean, we mentioned this was the game of the day, the last game here under the lights. We'd only had one goal game prior to this, and what an ending, the whole game. It was back and forth, and to end like that, and like you said, we had the clock right there, 1 second left. Unbelievable play by both sides. Really exciting stuff.
Lucas Menendez, 4 goals, all in the first half to lead France to chip in and contribute to the Geller winner. Anthony Sakos, 5 goals to base Greece once again and 1 assist. Caldroni also with 3 dishes to lead Greece in a hard-fought loss. Greece now with 2 losses in the final seconds here in Wroclaw. That'll do it for our entire crew here, including for our producer and director, and Bartek Petrutsky. For Marty Horkin, my name is Ralph Binorchik saying so long and goodbye. You've been watching the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship from Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV from Wrocław.
I'm here with Lucas Geller from Team France after a very incredible game versus Greece. Now, Lucas, you had the last shot of the game, the buzzer beater at the final seconds. Was that the game plan, and did you know you were going to be taking that final shot to win the game?
That was not the plan. You know, things just happen on the fly, and I just got lucky with that, how it ended.
And you this is your first experience in the national or international spotlight. How is this going for you?
Yeah, this has been an awesome event. Having a great time here in Poland, so it's been great.
And what are your expectations for the rest of the tournament? How do you think the team's going to shape up?
I think we're going to be just fine, and we'll be in Japan in 2027.
Awesome. This is Lucas Geller after scoring the game-winning goal in the final seconds to end day 4 of the European Men's Lacrosse Championships here in Wroclaw.